directly below the enemy's scrotum. Welcome to the Pixel Pop Movie Podcast. I'm your host for this episode, Toby. With me this episode, I'm joined by the If They're Testicles, I'm Walking Out of This Cinema, Lucas.
Oh, I've done that before.
And
Can't guess what movie it was.
And the If This Is a Skyline Film, I'm Here to the End, Ethan.
I ain't moving. I'm doing a full 24-hour marathon, boy.
So, our topic of conversation for this episode is what would make us stop or walk out of a film, whether it would be at home or at a cinema. And there's a few that we have, of course, and then we're going to sort of talk about what ingredients or what we would see or experience that would cause us to do that in future films. Before we do that, though, it's been... Is it 4 weeks? 4 weeks now since the last episode?
Yeah, it's been 4 weeks, man. There's been nothing. There's been no new movie.
I really hope it's the quiet before the storm. You know what I mean?
One would hope.
You would, yeah, exactly. You would hope. Like, I really hope it doesn't get to the point where we're doing these 4 week episodes, but there's just not enough to. Not enough, unfortunately.
Well, cinemas hopefully next month is the rumor.
It's already open.
Cinemas next month is definitely the rumor. Whether or not it happens, I know we've got news regarding a specific movie that me and Ethan definitely may be a little bit.
Well, yeah, with Victoria slipping, if the other states were to regress, it could easily, because there was other countries that opened cinemas and then closed them again.
Well, I went on an event the other day on Friday, and they're already open.
Yeah. So actually,
you can book tickets now.
Event cinemas in Brisbane actually open Thursday.
Yeah, and if you buy your ticket, it pretty much blocks out all the ones like surrounding you.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, so we'll get into all that shit, but we do have some news because we've waited so long. So let's start there. Please take us away, Ethan.
First bit of news: friend of the podcast, Taika Waititi,
has
been awarded a Queen's Honour for his service in film.
This is dope. This is really something.
It's not all set yet, but I feel like he'll probably get them. I mean, Peter Jackson got it, surely Taika can get it.
Yeah. This is something he deserves. I think he's... Well, we've previously talked about him and his accomplishments and everything he's done, so I think this is something that's truly well-deserved. He's a phenomenal all-rounder when it comes to film, so definitely well-deserved.
It's an order of merit.
I did send him a congratulatory text, but he hasn't responded yet, so that's fine. I'll deal with that.
Yeah. We'll tell him in person when he comes over for beers on Friday.
Yeah, that's it. When we get into the podcast eventually, we'll make sure we mention it.
Oh, okay. So it is the one right before a night.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's got the one right before a night. All right. Yeah, I'll hit him up.
Yeah.
Cool. Appreciate it.
Sir Taika Waititi.
Next, we've got some that it isn't fully confirmed, but heavily rumored, and that is Evan Peters is set to be in WandaVision.
Yes. Yeah.
No idea what his role is. One can only hope it's Quicksilver.
We're getting into deep theory spoiler territory possibly here, so we'll likely have spoiler tags around somewhere if Toby can put them together.
Are you thinking that we're going to see like a Meta Crisis event where the X-Men universe from Fox crashes into the Marvel reality?
Well,
or leaks?
Wonder is going to be in Doctor Strange 2, and it's going to be part of Multiverse of Madness.
Right, and so because of her brother dying, then you're going to bring him back through. You're going to do some Gamora kind of shit here.
Well,
I don't know. I think maybe she might just see multiverses.
I think it's a
see him or something like that.
I think she's been pulled from the main continuity and she's in a pocket universe. That's why all the sets keep. Oh, sorry, that's why all the things.
No, I think because of the sitcom nature of the show, I think you're gonna get a whole series of what if style shit. Like I think you're right there, Lucas.
Could do, yeah.
And I think this is just gonna be a what if.
Okay. So it's a what if, right? So one episode, she's like, "Oh, my brother's coming over," and us, the audience, we think it's Aaron Taylor Johnson. He walks in instead. I'm gonna include another bit of news here. It's heavily rumored. Nothing is concrete on this bit of information, but it's some big rumors. And that is Ryan Reynolds had pitched to Marvel a movie that is Deadpool kills the Fox universe.
Yeah.
It's still heavy rumors. Nothing's confirmed. It's just a big rumor going on. But he also said he wants Michael Bay to direct it. So, yeah.
Tons of ridiculousness behind.
He does know Michael Bay because he did that Six Underground film. He said he had a bunch of fun working on that. So, There's a little bit of credibility there, but we're not sure.
I'm not even worried about credibility. I just don't like Michael Bay.
I mean, who does?
Michael Bay.
I will give Michael Bay a lot of credit. We did get Bad Boys because of him, and those movies are excellent. So we can get one. If we can get one shining light that is Michael Bay, it's definitely Bad Boys.
Nah, man, there's Victoria's Secret fucking lingerie commercials. What are you talking about?
Oh no! Don't go! No!
Okay, next we finally got a trailer for Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Doesn't
Keanu look old in this? I mean, you've seen him in Wick and everything else. Like, he really looks old in this.
I think that's on purpose.
I think
on purpose?
He doesn't have the beard. He doesn't have the
beard. I think that's why you notice it.
Yeah, I think that's also another very intentional choice, like removing the beard and kind of having him clean-faced. Because even though he was clean-faced and he was only just a teenager in the original movies, he ages up when you take that beard away, which is you can't say that for a lot of people, but for him it definitely happened. But
yeah,
this trailer looks awesome. I had a lot of friends that were kind of very like, really, this is what we're getting, and they're very apprehensive. But man, I've been wanting a Bill and Ted 3 for 20 years, and I'm not gonna walk into this disappointed. Even if it's a bad movie, it's still the movie that I want, regardless. I still want to see these two get together and do one more movie, because they've also said for like 20 years they wanted to do this, so. For them, they think it's the perfect story. They said they'd only come back if it was the perfect story, so if they're happy with it, I'm going to be happy with it.
Next, I'm sure Toby's happy with this, Dark Season 3, which I think is actually out now. I think it came out on Friday.
Yeah, well, and Lucas.
I still haven't watched any of it yet.
Okay, yeah, I only watched season 1. I still have to watch season 2. I
started watching the trailer, and I'm like, okay, no.
It's very deep. It's very deep. I mean, season 1 was very deep, and yeah, I wouldn't watch the trailer. I haven't watched the trailer because the same thing. You don't want to. Your best bet is to just dive in blind and just watch it, but take a notepad.
Next trailer for The King's Man.
Yes, looks good. Definitely the direction I felt that I feel that because of course the King's Men, which was the first film, I thought was fantastic, and then I felt the sequel was really ordinary, and it just felt cheap. The humor was cheap. I didn't like it. This looks like a step in the right direction for the brand, for the IP, and more of this. Definitely. I know they were looking at doing like another King's Men, where it was like the American version and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's what the second movie was supposed to be. It was meant to lead off into that American franchise. This for me anyway, as a consumer, this is the direction I'm glad they've taken, and it's definitely, I'll go see this.
Next, we have a trailer for Waiting for the Barbarians. I don't know who put this one in there. It's on Johnny Depp.
Yep. Okay, so this is, this has got a heap of people in it. I'm just trying. I did watch this because I posted it. It's also got Robbie Patterson and a bunch of others, and it's sort of like it's a little bit of a Dances with Wolves, almost, but not quite.
No, I think I started watching the trailer and I was like, meh.
It's a period piece. Depp plays like the protagonist by the looks of it. Slightly different look from him. They've given him like dark contacts and all this sort of stuff. And Robert Pattinson and Mark Rylance looked alright. It looked like the acting looked on point. And it's it's going to be a period piece. Yeah. I don't know. It's not going to be for everyone.
Nah,
due out August 7th.
I'm just having a quick look at it now, and I can see that Rotten Tomatoes has got it at 50% currently. So
that'll definitely draw people back to cinemas. Next, we have a trailer for Ava, starring Jessica Chastain. If you don't want to see the movie, don't watch the trailer.
Or if you don't want to watch the movie, just watch the trailer. It's terrible. It's so much that the trailer literally shows you just about everything. Like
it feels like it, yeah.
It really does. Like, you can see the whole roller coaster. Every beat is there. It's and irrespective of whether the movie's good or bad, doesn't matter. Whoever made that trailer should be fucking fired. Because it's just it's terrible.
It very much has it very much tells you the first act, the second act, and the third act in the entire trailer. Like you can, like Toby said, you can exactly see where the roller coaster is going, and you know where you're gonna end up on the ride.
Absolutely.
Which you shouldn't do when it comes to a movie trailer. I actually enjoyed the trailer. I still think I'm gonna see it, but I'm not gonna be surprised if, guess what? The trailer told us for the whole time. Like, I'm not gonna be surprised. But if they genuinely like, we're gonna show you all the stuff and we're gonna like twist ending you at the end.
Look, the only way they could surprise me is if they CG'd out the Hulk in the final act.
Don't get into that.
That'd surprise me.
Next, we had a trailer for Greenland.
Yeah, Greenland. So this is old mate from 300. What's his name? Gerard Butler, who's done some atrocious shit. Do you know there's another like 3 Fallen movies in fucking in the contract or some shit in the pipe?
Surprised me.
You know, like London has fallen. All that shit. There's another 3 or some shit apparently. Like, fuck off. Anyway, this is an end of the world flick, and we've seen a few of them. This time it's a meteorite that breaks up and is going to hit the Earth, but the world authorities decide not to tell the population so they don't panic until it starts happening. And it's him trying to get his family on a plane to Greenland because there's a big fucking bunker there to keep everybody safe. We've seen this film before, you know what I mean? Like a couple of times, but look, it is what it is. It's a popcorn flick. It's meant to be a summer popcorn flick. It's the sort of thing I will throw on Netflix and watch and forget, and that's fine.
So listen, I'm just looking at the cast, and I just had to see Marina Baccarin on the cast list, and that's all I needed. So I'm going to see it. Problem solved.
Next week, trailer for Animal Crackers, an animated movie coming to Netflix.
Yes, interesting. IMDb has this as 2017.
So I'm looking at it now. It was released at the Animation Festival in June 12th, 2017, and then released in China on July 23rd.
Let me. Do you know anything about this movie, Lucas, at all?
No, not really.
Good. Because what I want to do, I'm going to bang off the cast listing here. Listen to this cast listing.
Yeah, no, I did see the cast listing. That's all I've seen.
Emily Blunt, Danny DeVito, John Krasinski, Ian McKellen, Ravine Simone, Sylvester Stallone, Patrick Warburton, Tara Strong, James Arnold Taylor, Lydia Rose Taylor, Wallace Shawn, Gilbert Gottfried, Harvey Fierstein, Kevin Graveau. Like, it just keeps going.
Danny DeVito was in it too.
Yeah. He's like second build or something, but yeah. After
I didn't hear you say his name.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So it's a huge cast. Story looks okay. I'm sure the kids will love it. I don't think it'll be a huge fucking blockbuster kind of thing, but it looks pretty good.
Next, in some saddening news, Ian Holm passed away the other week.
Yes, Sir Ian Holm.
Sir Ian Holm, yes.
Yeah, yep. 88, not a bad innings. Yeah. So, obviously, things like Alien, Fifth Element, and of course,
Lord of the
Rings and The Hobbit. So, which is he had quite a prolonged relationship with Lord of the Rings because, of course, he did The Hobbit and he did the Lord of the Rings with Peter Jackson, but where he played Bilbo. Yeah. But he also did the BBC audio production of Lord of the Rings where he played Frodo.
Yeah.
So, he'd been involved with Lord of the Rings for quite some time. But, good actor. Yeah. Did a lot of good stuff. So, I liked him in Fifth Element too, because it was a really different role for him.
Oh.
You know, had that sort of comedic edge to it. Yeah, it was good. Anyway, sorry to see him go, but it's going to happen.
Yeah. Next, Cobra Kai TV show is moving to Netflix for season 3 rather than YouTube. We talked about this last podcast about where it might be
we knew it was getting shopped around. Netflix have picked it up, so I don't know if they're grabbing all 3 seasons or just the third one. I imagine they're grabbing all 3, but yeah. So Cobra Kai is coming to Netflix.
Next, we have Elizabeth Banks has been cast as Miss Frizzle, Magic School Bus live action film. She's been rumored for a long time for this.
I'm pretty sure she's producing it too, right? Or
I think so, yeah.
Because she's got a production company now, they're the same crew that did Pitch Perfect and almost every movie she's starred in the past 5 years. So,
Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, they were a big one behind Charlie's Angels as well. Forgot about that.
Did you have School Bus growing up? I was too old. You did?
Yeah. Next, the Highlander reboot. is in development from the John Wick director, Chad Stahelski.
Yeah, and apparently they were powering through during the COVID lockdown too, so...
Never seen Highlander.
That doesn't surprise me.
I was say it should be no surprise.
No, I don't even batter an eyelid anymore. You could be like, I haven't seen... What's something everybody has seen? I don't know. Name a movie that everybody in the universe has seen. I'd be like, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Ethan hasn't seen that.
Alright, next we have The Boys Season 2 gets a premiere date of September 4th, not too far away.
Yep. I don't know if you guys have seen as well, but Amazon dropped the opening scene.
Yeah, the first 3 minutes, and they also released an additional clip as well.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I was cracking up through the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's going to be really good.
Well, I mean, the first season was fucking amazing. I put it up there as arguably the best TV show of last year.
I wouldn't get that far, but alright.
I would.
I definitely would.
No.
I think we said this last year,
to
but
what?
I said it's up between that and Watchmen, for sure.
Last year's SpongeBob season was really fucking good, alright?
Yeah, okay, moving on. What an idiot.
Hold your horse.
Ethan won't have a best show of 20 of whatever until they do a Skyline TV show.
Hey, there was that TV show on Netflix called Skyline, and I got excited until it was some stupid drama shit.
That's right.
You remember that?
Yeah,
I was like, Netflix doing a Skyline series. I'm like, oh yeah, look at the trailers.
He sends me a text, it's like, oh my god, Skyline TV show on Netflix. And then I get a message 5 minutes later being like, what the fuck is this shit?
Netflix is trolling you.
I was pissed off. Anyway, Chiwetel Ejiofor confirms the return for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Yes, you hear what else he confirmed as well in the same interview?
Sam Raimi?
Yep.
Wait, that's already been confirmed.
There's been no official confirmation until that.
Rami confirmed it.
Yeah, I thought he had.
But nothing has been released officially.
Oh, no, but I mean, Sam Raimi himself confirming it's pretty...
Raimi said he was doing it, but no one that had been involved in the project besides him had said anything until Ejiofor had that interview. Not even Benedict Cumberbatch, Kevin Feige, no one from Marvel, no one had said a thing about Sam Raimi until he said he was really excited to get on set with Sam. And he kind of like quickly was like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Like, was acting like he shouldn't have said it, so...
Next we have there's apparently 2 new Pirates of the Caribbean movies in the works. One is they're not sure what it's going to be because they don't even know if Johnny Depp's coming back. And the other is going to star Margot Robbie as she produces it as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm 50-50 on this.
I'm not excited about either.
The Caribbean should just go away for a while.
Yep.
Now for the last 2 biggest pieces, and that is Michael Keaton is in talks to play Batman again in The Flash.
Holy shit! This set the internet on fire. This is going to be nuts. Like this, if based on the pieces of like rumors that we have for this Flashpoint movie, I don't even think they're going to call it Flashpoint, but we're going to have Michael Keaton playing Batman, and we're also sounds like we're going to be getting Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
But Jeffrey Dean Morgan's pure rumor. There's like nothing concrete about that one at all.
So I think Jeffrey Dean Morgan confirmed it, but he was
No. It was on Jimmy Kimmel. Someone asked him if he'd ever come back, and he was all just like, no.
No, he said something. He got asked about it, and he said something, and he had to retract it because I'm assuming contracts. He must be signed to it.
Controversial. Controversial. What about a CG Christopher Reeve?
No. I had this discussion, and I still don't think it should be done. It's interesting, though, because it sounds like what they're going to be doing is they're going to be canonizing everything. That already started, funnily enough, with Crisis on Infinite Earths in the Arrowverse. All the DC canons are being canonized as part of the multiverse. It just sounds like that the films are now kind of leaning into what Arrow started. So... yeah, regardless, this is going to be super interesting. And I wonder too, I only just thought about this. If they're going to do Ezra Miller running into Grant Gustin and show you that Ezra...
They might do.
That would be cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, they're doing their own flashpoints at the exact same time, and you get that conversation. And they just basically, just show it to you from the other angle.
Because he mentions Victor in that, so obviously Cyborg will play a part in the Flash movie.
Well, either that, or like he's just because Flash and Cyborg Flash, Cyborg, and Green Lantern and Green Arrow are all really good friends anyway. So he's asking what happened to Victor. Grant Gustin's Flash doesn't have any idea who that is because he hasn't met him yet. But regardless,
Barbara Machete confirmed that Ray Fisher will reprise his role as Cyborg in the film.
Yeah, I didn't know until recently that Andy Machete is the one that's doing it. So he did really well with it. So I'm really hoping that he's able to do some, because I don't know anything that he's done besides it.
Yeah. I mean, and plus, we don't even know if this will be Flashpoint or this could just be...
Keaton's replacing Ben Affleck.
Obviously, it's multiverse.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan is being rumored, and Michael Keaton is confirmed for a Flash movie. There is only one storyline they're doing. Like, you can't... There's no way that they would be doing anything else.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Hey, Ethan.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a pie.
I don't want to be a pie. This is something I'm very happy about.
I don't like gravy.
Michael fucking Keaton?
For me, it is, yeah.
Idiot.
And that's... Excuse me?
You heard me.
The only news that would trump this right now is if they were like, hey, we're doing a new Wallace and Gromit movie, and then I would fucking run around screaming.
You're stupid, not deaf.
So yes, Netflix has confirmed that Aardman is working on a Chicken Run sequel for Netflix.
This is actually...
next year.
It's really exciting, so...
Yeah, see, shut your fucking mouth, boy.
You up, boy. But no, this is... the fact that this is even happening threw me for a loop. But yeah, this movie was my childhood. One of the many movies of my childhood. So the fact that there's another one coming out is just... When it got announced, it blew me away that this was even happening.
Oh, that's something news.
Okay, so I've been flat out. I don't think I've watched... I know I've probably watched... I mean, it's been a month. I'm sure I've watched some stuff. What have you guys caught up with since we last spoke?
I'm about halfway through season 4 of Malcolm in the Middle. I'm watching that at the moment.
Oh, yeah?
For how much I fucking love that show. So much of it I'm getting now that I'm older. I'm like, fuck these kids little shit. You know, when I was younger, I'm like, this stupid shit. And now I'm like, I side with the parents, so it's weird.
Right.
Yeah, I've been watching that. Anime here and there. Not a lot else.
Yeah, it's been a bit quiet. We've been going back and watching. I acquired, quote unquote, the first 4. I think it was only 4 seasons at the time of Knight Rider, and the girls have been watching that. I started watching that with them.
New one, the one they did a couple.
Nah, the original one from the 80s.
Yeah, no, the David Hasselhoff. Why do you think he said David Hasselhoff when we started? He was talking about jerking off David Hasselhoff.
Damn straight.
I did watch a couple movies. I watched the Wild Thornberrys movie and the 2 Rugrats movies as well. I saw them on like Netflix and Amazon.
Speaks volumes. Like he just watches kids' movies all day.
Yeah, not else. Not much else. It's about it.
Yeah. Okay. So Lucas has been watching Snowpiercer. I know that.
I have been as well. I'm like a couple episodes behind though.
I haven't even touched it. Like that's literally how kind of time poor that I have been. Like I haven't really had time to put anything on to pay attention to it.
Right. Oh look, Sicario 2's on Netflix. There's something that Ethan won't watch.
I watched the first one. That was all our fucking deal was, alright?
When we have had spare time, like normally at night time, we'll settle down and we'll watch something. Like we'll settle into bed and watch something. Despite everything that's going on, obviously in the world right now, we actually sat down and watched 21 Bridges, which is a very cop-heavy film. That was fucking awesome. We talked about it last year when all the trailers and that were coming out, but yeah, that was really good. And another one we watched too is one called Becky, which I'm not going to say anything about, except that it's a movie you must watch.
Wow, that rules Ethan out.
It has Kevin James in it, in a role you would never expect. And it...
Something actually funny? Oh! No, just kidding.
When we were watching it.
Rick and Morty. I finished watching Rick and Morty.
Yeah, Rick and Morty. The new season of Rick and Morty was alright.
It was alright.
I didn't like it as much as previous ones, but I think that just comes with the whole them doing 5-episode runs every 6 months now. It sounds like that's going to be the format.
Yeah.
Justin Roiland did do an interview though saying he wants to drop an episode a month and just wants to stick to that format because he feels that that's less pressure rather than doing 5 every 6 months, which is weird because it's an extra episode basically, or extra 2 episodes a year.
Yeah, I started watching Angel Has Fallen, I think it was, that Gerard Butler, the third one.
I've only seen the first one.
And I turned it off. Turned it off.
Well, that's funny. We can talk about that later.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what led me to it. It was just like, well, fuck that. Yeah, it just I don't know. It's just got boring, and yeah, we'll get into that. But yeah, my viewing time is. I've been watching like old shit.
One more I'll jump into before we jump into topic and stuff. King of Staten Island. That was excellent. The Pete Davidson one about it's basically a kind of fictional version of a biopic, where a lot of it is, basically all of it is fiction, but it's based all on a true story. It's all based on his life. So. Oh,
I did watch that thing on Netflix about the rich pedo guy. What was that?
Epstein.
Yeah, I watched that. Yeah, that was because I wasn't really. I mean, I knew I'd heard about the guy briefly and that he killed himself or was killed, and I didn't really know much about it. And then someone on Facebook was like, "Dude, you gotta watch this. It's really good." And I'm like, "Oh, fuck, I got nothing else to do." And I watched it. And it was really enjoyable to watch. Not because of the content, but just the way that the series was presented.
Documentary unfolds. Yeah. So I actually watched. I recently got back into playing World of Warcraft, and I was watching that while I was playing World of Warcraft, and I hit through all 4 episodes in one night because I couldn't turn it off.
All right, well, let's talk about stuff that isn't intriguing watches, and that's our topic of conversation, and films that... we'll quickly recap on some of the stuff that we've done this to, but I want to focus more on theoretical stuff that, reasons why, and that is movies that you would either turn off or walk out of. Go on, Lucas. Hit us with your list, starting with Transformers.
Transformers 2.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
You suck. Michael Bay's great.
I am directly below the enemy's scrotum. Quote, end quote.
Yeah, the moment the testicles descend from a robot, that's time to tap out.
That's the time to fucking tap in and jingle jangle those little balls. The balls.
Absolutely. I'll be honest. There's 3 movies I've ever watched, and it's funny that Toby brings this up because I talk about it. I have talked about it, I think, a fair bit on this podcast. There are only 3 movies I've ever walked out of the cinema of, and that's probably the worst one. Was because I walked into that first movie and I was so apprehensive of a live action Transformers movie, and it was good. And I was like, hell yeah, this is going to be awesome. And then they're like, oh, we're going to go to Egypt, and we're going to go all over the world, and we're going to do this, and we're going to bring in the
Dinobots.
I can't remember what they're called now. Oh my god! But bringing in the one with the Constructicons, right? And then they make the giant gorilla, and the fucking wrecking balls are his testicles, and they're graphically swinging in front of your face. Also, the story in that was so bad, I kind of just washed my hands and was like, he's in the foyer, and I laughed because I couldn't stomach it. Watching my beloved Transformers have testicles descending from fucking machines. The second movie I ever walked out of was one called Knowing.
Yeah, rings a bell.
Nick Cage and Rose Byrne. So basically, long and short of it is, it starts off with a time capsule, right? And this chick the little girl writes all these numbers into the time capsule and puts them in. Time capsule's unlocked in 2010 or whatever it is, and all of a sudden these events start happening alongside the numbers that are in the time capsule. And I said to my friend at the time when we were watching it, I said, if this is fucking aliens, I'm walking out. And it was fucking aliens. I got one more. All
right, quickly.
Wolverine.
Yeah, okay, I know why.
You're gonna bring Deadpool in his first live action movie ever, and at the end not have it be Ryan Reynolds and put skin over his mouth so he can't fucking talk? Insane. What the fuck were Fox thinking? What the fuck were they thinking?
Ethan, slap a couple of movies you walked out on.
I've never walked out of a single movie.
Nice. Ever turned anything off?
I give it Skyline too.
Yeah, I've done a couple of things. I haven't walked out because I figured I've paid $15 to $25 anywhere between there to sit in here. What else am I gonna fucking do at this time? Walk outside and sit there, be bored. Where I could just sit there and watch a bad movie and laugh at how bad it is.
Yep.
So I haven't walked out of a single one. Movies I've turned off: Battlefield Earth.
Yep.
Turn that one off.
Yep.
I remember watching Halle Berry's Catwoman when I was younger and being like, this isn't bad, and then I watched it again a couple of years ago, and I got like 20 minutes in, and I'm like, oh.
So we're just on Catwoman.
Catwoman, yeah.
I actively go out of my way to try and forget that they ever existed, and you just fucking reminded me that movie existed. Damn it.
Yeah, I could probably chuck like Meet the Spartans on there.
Oh, that movie's so fucking stupid.
Yeah, maybe could chuck that one on there. Movie 43.
No! No!
Did you forget about that one too?
Movie 43 is excellent.
There's obviously a lot more other movies that I know would have fucking turned off. I just can't think of them right now.
Yeah, there's probably... I don't know if I've ever walked out of a cinema. I got a sneaky suspicion I might have once, but I can't remember what it was. So that bothers me. But I've turned off a bunch of stuff. Mostly, again, I'm not going to rattle them off. It's just because they were crap films. Like, they were just not well done. You know, they're either... And we'll get into reasons why, because I want to talk about those recipes, those ingredients that make us turn off a film in a minute. Quickly, one notable one. It's a bit of a running joke in the family here. We watched the original Blood Rain movie. You know, U-Bowl did his adaptation. My wife and I managed to watch the first one. We got through it. And it was bad, but you could watch it. And there was a joke, because I bought the second one on DVD for like 50 cents out of a bargain bin kind of thing. And I was out for the night, and my wife popped it on, and she couldn't get past the opening scene. It was that bad. And I'm like, it can't be that bad. Like, no movie is that bad that you can't get past, you know, the opening scene. And so it was a couple of months later, she went away for a weekend, so I popped this thing in, and yeah, the titles were still on the screen by the time I ejected the disc. So it's this running gag of just, it's that fucking bad that we can't even get past the opening sequence. Like, you can't get 10 minutes into the thing.
You actually reminded me of the Far Cry movie. I started that and turned it off.
But taking things in a different direction for stuff that wasn't just bad, Eye for an Eye, with Sally Field, Ed Harris, and Kiefer Sutherland. I can't finish that film because there's a rape scene of a minor in the beginning, and it's the way the young actress acts and the way the scene unfolds. It's not explicit, like you don't see anything explicitly, but the acting and what unfolds, it fucks me up. It makes me angry, and it makes me sad, and it's just a really emotional scene. And I was at a friend's place and this movie was on, watch it, and I couldn't watch it. I had to leave. Like, it was just... normally that sort of stuff doesn't faze me, but it was just this particular movie, the way they did it, was just... It just resonated, and I just... Can't do this. Alright, so... But what I want to focus on is the specific ingredients. So you're watching... Let's assume in the next 10, 20 years, you and I are all watching films. What kind of film... What is it about a film that makes you go... I'm done here. I'm done here. So,
actually, there's a movie I turned off last weekend that you just reminded me of as well. One with Kevin Bacon and one called You Should Have Left. That,
you told me you turned that off. I was really...
I turned it off probably about...
After you told me you turned that off, I haven't wanted to watch it.
It's about halfway through it. Kevin Bacon, he's a good actor. He's been doing some really good stuff. He's acted the shit of it. He was not good in this.
Yeah, Amanda Seyfried's in it too, which is another one that blows my mind. Like, the fact that they've got two people that good.
Yeah. The movie was slow. It was very slow, very drawn out. No explanation of what was going on in any sense, even like halfway through it. And yeah, things that put me off as bad acting, a slow movie. Like, so there's some movies where if it's slow, it's fine, it works for the movie. I didn't feel like it was working for this one. And again, yes, the bad acting, absolute shit CGI effects can just completely fucking ruin something.
And yet you still keep watching that stupid fucking movie.
It doesn't learn.
It does not have shit CGI, thank you.
It has no CGI at all.
Hydraulics is a world-renowned CGI company who have worked on some great blockbusters in their time.
Rightio, yeah. Such as Anaconda.
Such as Battle Los Angeles, a movie very similar, released the exact same year as Skyline, which
because they copy-pasted the special effects. Anyway, all right, Lucas. So, what ingredients? What is it? This is a hypothetical film in the futures. What ingredients specifically are making you go, I'm not going to watch this?
So there's two camps, right?
Mm-hmm.
One is material.
One is what? Sorry.
Hey.
One is what? Sorry, I missed you there.
Adapted material.
All right. Yep.
If you're gonna open a book, and you're gonna read that book, and then go, oh, I'm gonna take a giant dump on it and put it out as a film. If you can't treat the source material with the respect that it deserves to be able to adapt it properly and adapt it correctly and adapt it in a way that makes people enjoy the film based on the original concept and original design, you shouldn't be making the movie. Obviously, there are Marvel is probably a big one where for the majority, the source material has been adapted fairly well. Has been adapted also in a way that fits the way it can be done cinematically. Again, you could say the same thing. I don't approve. I don't like it, but you could say the same thing about Twilight, Harry Potter, whatever. But when you get to a point where you're adapting material and you don't know the material, and you're just like, this will do, this will appease people, and it doesn't, like, yeah, just shitting on the source material is a big one. Second one is, it's just bad scripts. If you can't put together a cohesive script, or like even a semi-cohesive script, and have it make sense, and, you know, not riddle it with plot holes as if you're drilling through it with an LMG through the script. You know, again, writers should know how to write a coherent script, and if you can't even do that, the script shouldn't be getting made. It is as simple as that, and that will also then come back onto people producing and directing and not telling the writers they need to fix things. But yeah, realistically, everything comes down to having a coherent script, but specifically with adaptions. Like, if you're not going to pay attention to the source material, don't adapt it. It's as simple as that. Yeah, imagine doing Lord of the Rings, but not having the ring. Like, imagine thinking that's a good idea. Let's make Lord of the Rings. Who gives a shit about jewelry?
Imagine the movie and it's just called Lord of.
Lord.
Just
Lord
Lord.
of the...
Or just Lord.
Lord of the whatever.
Just Lord. What are you going to go see? Lord. Okay.
I am Lord, yeah.
So, everybody, actually, there's another film I turned off recently, and this leads into some of my reasons why I do that, and that was Replicas with Keanu Reeves. It's on Netflix at the moment.
It's on Netflix, yeah.
So one thing, and I've mentioned this before, one thing that annoys me with films is, look, I understand, like, Star Wars has sound in space because Star Wars, and that's fine. What annoys me, though, is when you make a science fiction film that's trying to be realistic, and then none of the science is realistic, right? When none of the physics is real, and none of the science is real, and none of the medicine is real, and none of the anything is real, that could kill a movie for me. Just as much as bad acting or a terrible script. If you've, like Interstellar, they did their homework. They had a physicist, they worked out how these things would work, and, you know, the movie's a lot more on point. It's like Saving Private Ryan. They got all the history right. If you're going to do a period film, whether it's in the future or the past, you need to get it as accurate as possible. If you're going to do a movie about science, and you want to get the science as accurate as possible, you don't have to tell the audience how everything works, because that's boring, but it needs to be accurate on the screen, so that people who do know about that shit... It's like hacking, you know what I mean? Like, you guys see this shit in hacking in movies, you're like, what the fuck is he doing? He's using an Atari joystick, what the fuck?
Can I jump in there?
Sure.
So listen, I don't want to sound like a dick.
You're a dick.
I'm good at it. I'm good at it. So you want to compare, like, a Christopher Nolan, Steven Spielberg film to a film that was done by the guy that wrote The Day After Tomorrow.
That's irrelevant. It's the script writer, and writing a script costs almost nothing. It does,
but...
And if you're not going to do your homework...
It is two very different standards. Like, if I'm going to go in... Like, I didn't look at Replicas and be like, oh my god, this could be Tenet dialed up to 15. I looked at that and was like, wow, this is a dumb movie. Let's watch the dumb movie. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I just said it gets to a point for me where my brain just can't handle the holes in the reality anymore. Like, when you know, like, I mean, I get the shits of Star Wars because they sound in space. Like, that pisses me off. Most people won't even notice it, but that pisses me off. You know, things like lasers, and they're broken up into bits. That's not how a laser... No, a laser is on or it is off. That is it. You know, and things like... And I do...
Things that... Like what you're talking about?
Sorry?
is when they show a ship just floating in space and it's just constantly on fire. It's like there's no oxygen in space.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a bunch of things. In fact, just about every space film ever made is a load of shit because humans can't exist in space for great lengths of time because of radiation and fucking lack of gravity and all the rest of it. Like, it's just, you can suspend a lot of it, but when you make a film, for instance, let's just say it's about, I don't know, pick anything, replicating humans in some fashion or whatever, right? You don't have to explain to me in detail, but if you're going to explain to me how you're doing it, then better be fucking right. Because if you're going to explain to me some wank that you wrote on the fucking inside of a McDonald's lid, then your movie can fuck off. And I mean, that's fine because most people, are either ignorant or they just don't care. But I do care, and I read about a lot of these subjects, and I like to know about this shit. And when I see it on the screen and it's just so amazingly wrong, I just get frustrated. I do. Pisses off the girls too, because they go, just watch the fucking movie. And I'm like, I just can't watch this movie. It's fucking terrible. That is not how any of this works, ever. The biggest one too is like, or something will happen, and I'm like, you just go to the police. And or where's your cell phone? And little things like, and just so that leads into my next biggest brief is plot holes, and you touched on this. But sometimes I watch a film and you're just sitting there shaking your head, going, "What? How? What?" Surely you've experienced that.
I try not to look too deep into plot holes, especially with the time that we're in now, in the sense of franchises, because you can fill that plot hole later. And the majority of plot holes arguably do come from franchises. Sure, you'll find the occasional movie that will have a plot hole.
I mean, okay, you've seen the second Saw film, right?
Yeah, heard of it.
Okay, and they're trapped in the house, right?
Yeah.
Now, can you describe to me any house you've ever been in your life, Lucas, where if you really wanted to get out, you couldn't get out?
I mean, all the
doors
were
of size.
Trapped.
Yeah, I know, but you're a guy of size. Now, I mean, what would stop you going through the wall?
The giant beams that are in the wall?
No. They're made out of. They're made out of. Like, you've seen a house. Like, what's stopping you going through the roof? What's stopping you going through? Like, there's a million ways that, and there's like some big dudes in that show, and you're just thinking, I've gone through walls in my life. Like, I've had brawls, I've had fights, and I've gone through walls, right? And not just wood walls, right? I've been through walls. If I'm under threat of life and limb, that rickety old rundown house isn't going to stop anybody from getting out. Like, that's just... Okay, cool. So I guess you can argue that that's a plot hole. However, we don't know what the outside of the house looks like. For all we know, we're only, like, for the majority of that movie, we don't see the outside of the house. We actually, for all of the movie, we don't see the... But it just goes on to, like, okay, if there's a timer and there's gas in the house, then wouldn't you just lie down in front of the doorway, which could open slightly, and just breathe clean air in and out through the doorway?
Again, every door was trapped.
Yeah, they opened the front door a little bit, though, then they see the bars.
Through the wall, for example. For all we know, there could be 6-inch steel surrounding that entire house.
Yeah, but I mean, who drives past? They're in a warehouse area. Like, you would notice someone putting 6-inch steel around a house. Like, it just doesn't add up. And this is just one example. There's plenty of other films where they do this stuff.
For all we know, that house could be built inside of the warehouse, and it's hidden. Like,
I think you get to see through a door, though.
It's not a plot hole. It's an unexplained thing, which necessarily isn't a plot hole. A plot hole is setting something up and then creating a hole because of that plot point.
Oh, let me be... Okay, I guess a reality hole there.
The house is, what is around the house. Like, it is just that, hey, these people are trapped inside of this 3-story building, which, yes, it looks like a house, but for all we know, it could be a movie set, for all even though it technically is. In the context of the story, it could be a set. Like,
sure,
a lot of Jigsaw stuff was sets. He built sets. So these things are designed to not be escaped.
Sure, but then
that's not a plot hole.
Okay, well, what would you call an example where some dude can just kick the fucking wall in and leave, and they don't? I don't know what to call that. Then is that just
bad writing?
And I'm not just picking on Saw here. Like, there's plenty of other movies where I've watched them, and you just think, why don't they just go and do this? And then everybody you're watching with goes, yeah, hang on, why don't they just... Now, I guess, too, like, if the character's under duress, there's times for that. But there's plenty of films where I've watched where the easy way out to any problem is super obvious, but it's just never grabbed or taken or done. And that bothers me. Like, it's just stupid people, I guess. Like, and that's the trouble with most horror films, too. It's nearly always stupid people, right?
I think there's a big difference between stupid people in a movie and a plot hole.
Sure, okay. Like, well, maybe I need to say that stupid people bother me in movies then.
But, like, yeah, you could argue that a plot, like, basically a plot hole is something that is designed, like, I don't know the exact definition of a plot hole, but the plot hole is basically the plot sets something up and you then break the rule of the plot by...
Like, I guess for me too, like, have you guys ever played tabletop role-playing at all?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know how, especially if you've been a DM, like, you as a DM, you create a scenario, you'll create a quest, or you'll create a room, and you'll create a puzzle, and inadvertently, nearly every time, inevitably, the players will solve that puzzle in a way that you never thought of. They'll cast a particular spell you didn't think of, or they'll do a certain thing that, you know, a thief will crawl on the ceiling, whatever. Something will happen that you didn't think of, and then you're like, oh, well, cool, yeah, you thought outside the box. And I guess when you're watching a movie, especially when there's a trap or a puzzle, or there's something conundrum, whether it's a detective film or something like that, or they're being chased or whatever, I watch that film and I think, why don't you just do this? And it's a case of sometimes I think the scriptwriter just didn't think of that. And so I watch it and just think, you're idiots.
The scriptwriter can't think of it, or it may be in the script, but they just don't have the time or budget to include it.
True that. But then it just a set. I find, to me, that just fine. And again, if it's a little thing, if it's just a one-off thing, or that's fine. In terms of turning off the film, though, if it's consistent. If there's consistently this scenario where there's a character that's just an idiot and they continuously do stupid things to their own detriment, that frustrates me, and I have to turn it off.
I'll say this, right? Just regarding plot holes. This is probably one of the biggest plot holes in cinema, right? It's in the Avengers. Why does Thanos give away his only Infinity Stone?
What stone does he give them to?
He gives Loki the scepter with the Mind Stone in it. If his whole quest is to gather the Infinity Stones, why does he give away his only Infinity Stone?
Yep.
That he has at that.
Yep, that would be a good plot hole.
It's like, that is a plot hole.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I guess I need to rephrase. Stupid people piss me off.
He got back.
What?
I said it was the first one he gave away and the last one he got back.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah. It takes a revision at the end.
Oh my god, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never thought about that until now. Yeah. Shit.
Sorry, carry on.
Sorry.
No, you're right. I was just ranting. But yeah, stupid people annoy me. Plot holes, actually, I think I can live with sometimes. Like, that sort of thing doesn't bother me too much, because you can, and as we often do, you can theory craft that off the screen as to how and why. Yeah, just stupid people doing shit. And I don't blame the actors. Like, I blame the script, and I blame the director or whatever have you, the producers who might be rushing things on. But yeah, if I continuously see stuff where, they're under duress and you can see them holding a mobile phone or something, it's like, just use your mobile phone. Oh, didn't think of that. Oh, fuck this film. That was. The other one that really upsets me is like, things like Eye for an Eye. I struggle with horror films that do intense gore. I like scary movies. I love horror movies. I'm not a big fan of gore. And there was a movie, I think it was called The Train or something. I never even finished the opening credits. It's just some dude on a table getting, like, sliced open and the flesh peeled off his bones. And it was like, nope.
Midnight Meat Train?
Might have been that, yeah.
One with Vinnie Jones?
I don't know. I didn't get past the opening, man. It's just this dude getting carved up on a table, the opening scene, in opening credits.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the one with Bradley Cooper and Vinnie Jones. That was cool. I'm a massive fan of gore. Like, we sat through Human Centipede. I sat through the Human Centipede 2, like the uncut version. And sure, there were parts where I wanted to fucking puke, but we sat through it.
Yeah, I'm funny like that. See, I could watch things like Two Girls, One Cup and go, hey, if that's what rocks your boat, like, that's cool. But things like gore, and especially auto-mutilation, like people who mutilate themselves, that really fucks me up.
So like, I haven't turned myself away at watching any movie I've ever seen and been like, oh, no, I can't watch that. That's too gory. I've never done it before with anything. I sit there and watch all the gore and that. The only thing I've turned away from that I couldn't watch was the first season of 13 Reasons Why, when she killed herself in the tub. I skipped that. I could not watch that. That's the only thing I've ever skipped through anything ever.
I've only turned away. I think I've only ever turned away from two things, and one was in Hostel. No, actually, I turned away from two things in Hostel. But again, we're getting back into like the whole gore thing. Like,
yeah,
that movie, those movies come out at a time at like, hey, like Saw is really popular because they're super ultra violent. Let's take it up a notch. Where literally there's like people getting tortured. And you're watching people get tortured. Like there's one where like a dude gets his Achilles muscles on his feet cut and he can't walk.
Yeah,
and he's got to like drag himself, and like I had to look away when they did the cuts because it's disgusting.
And I think probably one of the few other last reasons why I might turn off a film is if I wasn't expecting it to be a film with political undertones, and when I start watching the film and it's evident that a director or a cast member or a producer has pushed their opinion into a film where it just has no reason to be there at all. Yeah. And regardless of whether it's leaning left, right, or somewhere in between, I don't care what it is. If you're going in to watch a film about minority rights, then I completely expect political, rhetoric in some fashion. If I go to watch, Bobby Jim's bloody, Best of Flower Garden or something, and all of a sudden there's this like whole rhetoric about far left or right, like that just pisses me off because that's not what I'm there for.
I feel like that when it's like movies where they're very religious, like where it doesn't seem like it would be, but then they start pushing like religion more, it completely turns me off.
That's really interesting because I agree with one but not the other, which makes me sound like a hypocrite, I guess. For me, like the political thing, I don't really care. It's a story at the end of the day, and if that's the story they want to tell, just make it good. Like, don't try push an agenda, just make the story good. And if the story's good, whatever agenda.
Don't get me wrong, it'd be like watching like the Epstein thing, and then for some reason the documentary producer starts trying to tell you how good cocaine is and that we should legalize it, and you'd just be sitting there going, "Fuck it, what has that got to do with anything?"
Or could you imagine they're doing the Epstein thing and then all of a sudden they're like, now this would never happen in the church. Let us tell you why.
Yeah, just shit like that. So like again, like if I'm watching fucking, I don't know, again, like just any movie you care to think of, if it doesn't have...
You've turned it off because of the political, like can you name I'm just curious, can you name a specific...
Probably, but I'm not going to because I feel that I would get backlash for the reasons why. Okay. Because
I'm curious, because I honestly, for my own memory, which is not good to begin with, I can't really think of a movie that's done that. I can definitely think of movies where there's been like a religious message and a religious push, but specifically regarding left-leaning, right-leaning, whatever politics, like regarding a political perspective, I can't think of anything.
Yeah, there is, but I wouldn't feel comfortable discussing them here.
Sure. Yeah.
But there's times where I'm like, I'm expecting this. The trailer kind of looks like this, and then when I get in there, I'm getting that. And whether I agree with that or not is irrelevant. I just don't feel it belongs in that film because it's not a part of the original story that I guess I was expecting. It's not what was advertised. It's not what was on the label. Why is there peanuts in my apple? This was not on the ingredient sheet. All right, well, thanks. I think that sort of gives us a good feel for perhaps why we might turn off a film. I guess too. Well, you turned off The Mummy, didn't you, Ethan?
I sat through all of it.
You did? Okay.
I don't know why I did, but I did.
Yeah.
I must have had a fucking stroke while fucking watching it and just not realize.
Says the guy who watches Skyline.
You keep saying that as an insult to me, and it doesn't work, okay?
Old enough.
Instead, he watched The Mummy and had a stroke. All right. Well, we might. I think we haven't done it in a while. I might throw this question up on the Pixelpop Network Facebook page, and ask our listeners and readers, what makes them turn a movie off. See if we get any responses. That could be interesting. See what happens, and then we can report next episode. Well, before we wrap this one up, do you want to let us know what if anything, is coming to cinemas and/or streaming in the next few weeks, Ethan?
Just trying to think it.
Have we got a date for Tenet yet? Is it confirmed locally?
31st July, apparently.
31st of July.
Back to halfway through August. Remember?
Oh fuck yeah! No, it did get pushed back again.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, middle of August.
Right.
Listen. I'm going to use this platform, and I'm going to say, America, stop it! I need to see this movie.
Coming this Wednesday, we have Unsolved Mysteries Volume 1.
Oh my god, yes! I completely forgot about that. They're doing old school Unsolved Mysteries TV show is coming back, but it's not coming back with Robert Stack. Is that his name? The guy that used to host it.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So we have Unsolved Mysteries this Wednesday. This is Netflix. This Thursday, there's season 1 of Warrior Nun, which looks quite interesting. I watched the trailer for it the other day.
What is that?
Warrior Nun. The description says, after waking up in a morgue, an orphan teen discovers she now possesses superhuman powers as the chosen halo bearer for a secret sect of demon hunting nuns.
Oh my fucking god.
Sounds terrible.
Oh my god.
July 10th, so next week, we have The Old Guard starring Charlize Theron, where they're immortal warriors.
That's so cool!
This Friday, which might interest Lucas, is Ju-On Origins, Season 1.
I mean, there is something more important this Friday that I'll be watching, but go on.
It is a TV show based on The Grudge in Japanese.
Excuse me?
Netflix original.
Netflix
original from Japan. It's a TV show based on
what?
The paranormal.
How am I hearing about this? I'm
Paranormal
going to research this.
For a cursed home where something terrible happens to mother and their child long ago.
Oh my! I didn't even know about this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be spending my time watching that, and I'm gonna be watching Hamilton because that's coming to Disney Plus on Friday, and I cannot wait.
That's the stage production. Is it?
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So they filmed it to an empty audience, basically done like an isolation version of it, but then also done it so it's done it in a way. Sorry, that it's done to cameras, but they've done it as the stage production. They're not actually acting it out like it's a movie, if that makes sense. But yeah, I tried to get tickets for it when we were in Chicago 2 years ago and couldn't get a single ticket. So this is the way I'm gonna have to get it, because I'm not gonna be able to see it for a couple of years because of isolation and all that shit. This is as close as I'm gonna get for a few years, so I'm really pumped.
Right. I mean, it's on Netflix. I haven't got a thing for anything else.
Okay. So are we able to get gold class tickets or whatever for Tenet yet, or?
I'm waiting for a hard date to set before I book any tickets.
Alright, we should go do that.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really keen. I do have something to say about that movie, but I won't say it here.
Okay. Alright, well, I think we should probably leave this one here then. Hopefully, as I said, this is the quiet before the storm, and I'm hoping that with cinemas starting to open up and hopefully filming starting to resume and other things, we might start seeing more news. And it looks like it. There was some more trailers sort of in the last few days, and so...
Actually, we didn't talk about it in the news, but Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision have been doing pickups. So
yeah, it seems like we're starting to get back to business. So fingers crossed.
Definitely starting to trend in the right direction in that regard. It sounds.
If America can stop screaming in Fahrenheit, we can get on with it.
I'm pushing out this goddamn movie.
Yes, we've got. It's gonna. On the flip side, we're gonna have a really busy 12 months. Once this shit finishes, it's just gonna be bang, bang, bang. I think.
Yeah.
So I think it should be a good Christmas.
We're gonna get a whole year of summer blockbusters, and that's the same concept to think about. Normally, everything's marketed around the US summer. because they're off for 3 months.
But you've got all these movie studios that have got their cash tied up in these films, and they've got to get their money back, and so they can't hold off and wait till a more ideal time. They've got to hit cinemas. They've got to make their money because the coffers are empty. So it just means there's going to be more competition, and you're just going to. I think you're going to find, as I said, once we get close to Christmas and the New Year, it's just going to be every weekend. There's just going to be something worth seeing. Fingers crossed.
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll wrap this one here. How about you serenade us out with an opera or something, Lucas? I think you could do some tenor shit.
Hell no. Hell no.
Well, you can. How about some rhythm and blues then? Boom, 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 boom.
Ethan, just click in the background.
Yeah, just do some ticking or something. Boom, 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 boom. My podcast left me. Boom, 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 boom.